Welcome to Vibe Osmosis. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
It's been a pretty big, busy day, no lie. Go into what have you been up to today?
I've been playing bass all day. I don't have a job, so I'm just chilling pretty hard.
Chilling pretty hard, working on the music. That's good.
Yeah.
I left work early to work on music. So, music.
So yeah, introduce yourself and how long you've been making music and what you've been getting into. I kind of touch base with a little bit with Richie, so just kind of like pack it all in.
See.
My name's Adam. I've been playing music since I was like 10. I got a guitar and I've been just working hard at it since then. I've been with BirdBrainBreakfast since 2018. And
About 5 years.
yeah, 5 years now. That's crazy. And I've been working on that pretty hard.
And astro sign for yourself.
What was that? What?
What's your astrological sign?
Astro.
Oh, Capricorn.
And do you think that you feel the Capricorn waves?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Every time, I'm not a big astrology guy, but sometimes it just clicks really fucking hard. I'm like, damn, I am a Capricorn. So
Yeah, we're both Capricorns.
I'm a January Capricorn. You're a December Capricorn. They're
That's
different.
that's true.
I didn't know that they're actually any different. All right. So, what's some of the music you've been listening to lately?
I've been listening to, man, I don't know. Let me check. Hold on. Project Pat a lot. Shaka Khan. I've been playing a lot of just random jazz playlists, like Lee Morgan, Miles Davis, all kinds of stuff like that. I've also been into Caldera. They have this one song called Sky Islands. It's been on loop for like a year now for me.
Definitely some really solid choices. Kind of break into like some of the music that like introduced you to music and like like what got you to think like you can do it too or get involved.
What you're kind of breaking up a little bit. What?
Some of the music that got you into making music and like what influenced you to get into it too.
Oh, well, when I started learning music, I just had a bunch of Metallica CDs that I would loop over and over again and learn the music from. And when I realized I could just do that, I was like, well, why don't I just do it myself? You know, Metallica can do it. I could probably do it better. They're old.
I'm a really big fan of the Lou Reed Metallica record. That's one of the ones that stuck out. I mean, I guess besides like growing up with their records, it's one of those ones where I went back to and kind of dissected. I remember like, kind of like being in high school whenever Lou Reed died, and was
Hmm.
also kind of just like flipping through some of the discography and seeing the work, and was also as we get time later pass and see like the other work that gets to come out that he worked with and collaborated on and stuff is it's always really nice and one of those things like I always like appreciate about other artists too that kind of leave stuff in the vault for the for the
Yeah.
artist to share the other gems to kind of come out later. You
Yeah,
kind of
I remember when that record specifically came out. I was like 13, and I was like, "Wow, this sucks." So I was
yeah.
kind of I was turned off Lou Reed for a while, but I finally got back into it. I need to revisit the Metallica Lou Reed thing though, because I haven't tried that in like a decade.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you kind of see like it's like the alternative to like what maybe was as expected, maybe from them coming together, and you're kind of maybe thinking like you're gonna get these more like traditional, like sad love songs, or maybe like another heroin but hard, or but they
Yeah.
kind of pack in like a lot of really heavy traditional themes that I feel like is kind of resonant with like today's world and that kind of stuff too. Um, and I kind of want to get into like the music that you've been into lately. Um, Like anything like off the top of your head that
Um, well, other than what I said before, I've been listening to a lot
Yeah.
of just like 70s and 80s funk and R&B. Um, I mix it up day to day, so I usually do that. Sometimes I'll just feel like listening to Dillinger Escape Plan or just some like crazy bad shit, insane music like that. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of I kind of just jump back and forth a lot. Meshuggah comes up pretty often, but then I'll like jump right around back to like Al Green,
Sun Ra.
Sun Ra. I've been listening to Sun Ra a lot. Pharoah Sanders is one of my favorite saxophonists of all time. Um, Trying to think of I've been listening to this doo-wop record or what is it? Doo-wop. There's like a doo-wop doo-wop playlist on Spotify. I don't remember anyone off of it specifically, but it's just this old like doo-wop music from the 50s has a really interesting sound that I really like.
Um, Also, Richie, I wanted to also tie this in with you. Favorite bird project, like the favorite, maybe even favorite song out of your guys' selection of songs now.
What is my favorite or Adam's favorite? I I think my favorite from Truly Sober is Swan Song. My favorite from Non-Physical Effects is Existential.
I'd say my favorite from Truly Sober is Something in My Jeans. That's a classic. And from the new record, I would say Renaissance Lover is probably my favorite. But I think they're all really cool. They have their own really good aspects that I love playing.
Do you want to get into the recording process for those kind of different songs and styles, like how maybe it came together and what you did to kind of make the song happen?
Yeah, sure. So Richie and I had kind of started demoing some of this music in 2019, 2020, right around when the pandemic started. And that was our previous drummer had left by that point. So it was just me and him. We played a show or two with my phone playing drum tracks behind us. That was kind of a weird thing, but
I forgot about that.
yeah, that was fun. But so we were doing that and we just kind of I don't know, the fire wasn't there because of COVID, which I'm not going to blame anybody because there is no reason. We were just tired. So finally, once we kind of got out of that funk, we got Christian in the band, and once he started practicing with us, we kind of started writing the music a little bit more together. We also had our friend Paris in the band at the time, and she would help us, and the four of us kind of really shaped this record to be what it is. Um, by the time the record came out, Paris had left the band, which that's fine. We're all on good terms, basically, and I think the music came together really well with that development of those four people together. And it's hard for me to listen to this music and not hear that those relationships we'd had through the like 2 years it took us to get this together. We had like I said, Rich and I had like the skeletons of some of this music before, and once the other two joined the band, it kind of just got fleshed out naturally by playing the music over and over again. As for the actual recording process, that took about a year, maybe 10 months. Uh, we did all the drums for, well, most of the drums in this house that I lived in over in North Dayton. And Cheech cranked those out. He did a really great job, I think. It took me not very long to get the bass parts cranked out. I literally brought my bass to work and just did it there because I worked at a news station. I could just do that. I should get that job back. That was a good job. Um, and then, with the piano and the guitars, it took a while longer because with the bass, you could just kind of DI it and that was easy. But with the guitar and piano, it was a lot more, everyone was a lot more picky about what they were playing, how they were playing it. And there's just a lot more notes to worry about, I guess, on those instruments. So it makes sense. And we recorded everything in like a different spot. It was kind of a hodgepodge of places we recorded things. Frankenstein, yeah.
Piecewise. Yeah.
But I think it turned out really well. Just the cooperation from everybody, and everyone cooperated with me, knowing that I know what I'm doing for the most part. So it was nice to not have any backlash from that.
Yeah. And Richie, you want to add into kind of your part on the record?
Yeah, I think that working with Adam, he is a very talented producer, engineer, uh, but also he has the harmonic and the melodic background and knowledge to talk about, jazz theory, to talk about composition, arranging. So working with him, he fills in a lot of the technical, like production things that I'm missing, but we can also bounce ideas off each other for, okay, during this bridge, what chords are we going to do, or how can we, structure the song to make it more interesting?
And I also want to bring up like the music you were listening to, like around the time of like recording and everything. Like, was there any kind of stuff you want to shout out and mention that everybody was vibing with?
Um,
Shout out to Steely Dan.
Steely Dan, yeah. What was I listening to like a year and a half ago?
Yacht Rock.
A lot of weird yacht rock stuff.
Michael McDonald.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of Thundercat comes to mind.
yeah.
That whole like clique of jazz guys in the, right now, like Thundercat, Robert Glasper, Chris Dave, all those people kind of come to mind. Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly" record, all the band who was on that, just all their music comes to mind. Even Kendrick Lamar, I would say that album specifically, and Untitled Unmastered. Well, I think that's it. That's all I have.
Where do you get your production ideas from?
Oh, well, I guess my recording process and the ideas come weirdly from like prog metal, because I learned production and recording things from this band called Periphery. That's one of my favorite bands from like high school. Um, Everything I use, they've used at one point or another, or like have suggested as a replacement for something else more expensive. And so, all of my the way I mic things and like EQ things and the way I want things to be compressed and to sound together is definitely based in this like extreme metal place. Like, I obviously it doesn't sound like that, but I just want everything to sound slammed and huge, I guess.
That is actually a really good point to bring up. And favorite instrument of yours?
Of mine,
Yeah.
other than bass, I like bass obviously, but I like tenor. I like a good tenor saxophone, just ripping, just sounding crazy.
I'm actually a really big fan of the old kind of classical sounds that you kind of bring into music and translate it or refresh and rejuvenate. I want to bring up a random fact about yourself.
A random fact. I don't know. What's a random fact about me, Richie?
Uh, you play sousaphone.
Oh yeah, I play sousaphone, the
Really?
like marching tuba.
Really good.
Really good, apparently. Maybe the fact is I'm like thoroughly multi-instrumentalist. Like,
Okay.
if I play bass for the band, but I say I play drums and sousaphone. I don't mean I just like can operate the instrument. I can actually like play the shit out of them. And a lot of people can't say that. So
Are
that's
you
my fact.
are you guys fans of anime or
I'm not a big anime guy.
um
I like some anime.
yeah.
Cover Bebop.
What all right, so what kind of movies would you recommend? Like what kind of stuff have you been into lately, watching and stuff?
My favorite movies of all time are basically any Stanley Kubrick movie or any Quentin Tarantino movie.
Based.
I have like the most film bro opinions of those movies, but it's
Taxi
okay because
Driver.
they're good movies. 2001: A Space Odyssey,
American Psycho.
American Psycho, Blade Runner, Reservoir Dogs. All of those movies are, they're kind of they're memed on a lot now. But that's I think that's what happens when something is so good. It's like just over the top. How much can you pull out of it? Kind of an idea, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And I really want to bring up, there's are some. All right, I really want to bring up in your music. Is there kind of like ever a time where you're writing and you're bringing something to the band, or like is it ever just like a mutual way of coming together and like making the songs happen, or just like creating new songs, or a little bit of improvising?
Um, Historically, what has been the process is Richie brings us some like vague ideas of like a verse and a chorus, and then we'll just jam it out a little bit and kind of see how it feels to play it like that, or we'll change it up as we're playing. So there is that element of improv in there. And then once we get like a vague shape of the arc of the song down, we'll decide if we want to add a section like a bridge or something. And usually that's my area is when there's a bridge and it sounds totally fucking weird. That was my thing. So like what's the song I put a bridge on that just changes keys? Is that
Found a way.
Found a Way? Yeah, on the new album Found a Way. So the verse and chorus was Richie plus our little, jamming together, try to feel out the vibes of it. And then the bridge, it changes keys and there's some weird chord in there, and it kind of like the mood is different, but it still sits within the song. That was pretty much my wild.
We did it together.
We did it together, but like,
No.
I said let's can't change keys.
Yeah.
I want to say my phone might cut the call because I'm running low. But before we go, I kind of want to ask some of the songs and movies that you would recommend, and also your favorite thing about recording music.
My favorite thing about recording music is realizing how poorly I've been playing it so that I can fix it. And then some songs to recommend. Um, Hold on.
Through the Fire.
Through the Fire, Shaka Khan. Uh, So Far to Go by Jay Dilla. Um, Let me see. Doing Time by Sublime.
Joy Spring.
And then some movies. I don't know. Other than what I said, I have not seen the new Avatar. I did go to a film festival this past weekend. If I remembered any of those movies specifically, I would recommend them. We did see the Rabbit by Max Kaplan. Watch out for that one.
Soundtrack by Icicle.
Yeah, plugging our friends, but that's okay.
Shout out.
Yeah, that's fine. I have not been in a studio. It's too expensive. Hopefully, I'll find out someday. Yeah, yeah. It's always good to have an extra set of ears, I think. Whenever I can do that, I try to get someone to hear it. Um, I think we have a show with the YSO in Yellow Springs that we're going to play soon. Like at the radio station will be broadcast. I don't know when that is exactly yet. Um, Brain's trying to just kind of laying low now. We're trying to work on a new album, so hopefully we can get that out, and it'll not take 5 years. Um, Other than that, I have a bunch of stuff I'm doing this Saturday at Brightside in Dayton. I'm playing sousaphone for a Mardi Gras event. That'll be fun. Yeah, yeah, Phil's big ass brass band. Yeah, that's me. I'm in that band. I'm not Phil though. Yeah, that's true. And the band sounds really, really good this year. So,
Teaching the nightlights.
oh, I'm also playing. Our drummer Chi Chi had a band that was kind of defunct, but it's now coming back together called Chi Chi and the Nightlights. I'm playing drums for that now. Frank Calzada is playing bass for that. We have a show March 4th at the Meow House. DM for address. Um, Other than that, I think that's it. Do you have anything going on, Richie?
We're playing at a frat house in Wittenberg, March 31st.
Yeah,
I don't know the address,
yeah. I don't know the address either.
but
Follow our page. We'll
yeah.
post the address probably. Hmm. I've heard Overland's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, the favorite shows I've ever been to have been like mixed genre shows. I did a gig with an old band that I played keyboard for, and we were like a funk thing, and we played with a pop punk band, a deathcore band, and like a different funk band, all in the same set at a skate park in like 2019. That was probably one of my favorite shows I've ever played. So
Cross pollinate.
yeah, cross pollinate.
Vibe Moses.
Shout out to Icicle. He's a great guy. I love being just associated with him in any sense. Shout out to
Frank.
Shout out to Frank Calzada and Frank and Friends. Shout out to Fia Photo Fits, who took all of our photos for our album and our release stuff. Um, Shout out to God and my family. Not really.
Uh, Uncle Boof.
Uncle Boof.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Also, do you think LSD is one of those things that can actually help people expand their minds, or do you think that LSD is one of those things that was rightfully objectified against?
I would say it kind of depends who it is. Myself personally, there was a period in my life where I would take acid sometimes, and it was not really a opening my mind thing. It was more of a let's check under the hood and see what's happening kind of a thing.
That's
It's not really a party drug for me. It's a very lock
Introvert.
myself in a room and see what happens.
That's what I think about mushrooms. I think like with mushrooms, it's a lot more of like the under the cover experience. And I feel like with acid, I feel like it's more of like a personal social experience other than more of like interior wise. I don't know. That's why I kind of always ask people of like if they think it's one of those things that help them kind of maybe branch out of their shell or like get into other things or drop habits or whatever.
Um, it's hard for me to say. I'm glad I've had the experience. I'm not going to start doing acid every month though. It's exhausting.
That's true too. I definitely think I
I have been in
definitely
the mood lately though. I don't know. I might have to find some.
I definitely think it puts like some exhaustion into you. But yeah, it's one of those things I think you definitely prep yourself to have a good experience. And one
Yeah.
thing one thing I have learned, from going through like therapy and stuff myself is that you could use it in like a recovery way, and the recovery aspect of it is just rebuilding. Like you say, like if you think that you have like anxiety, it's like rebuilding your confidence that you don't have anxiety. So in a lot of ways, it's
Mhm.
like finding your affirmations or finding your identity and like embracing that. That's kind of my own perspective on it. I have heard also in that just like if you have like a certain amount of thought patterns, it could be a sign of mental illness. And I'm just at the same time like, who in the world doesn't have mental illness?
Right.
To some extent, I guess. And it's one of those eighth wonder questions I like to kind of throw out there. One of the ones I asked Richie recently, and kind of think it's a funny answer he gave was, if you were stranded on an island and you could bring one thing with you, what would you take?
What did Richie answer?
Don't.
Fuck. All right. Um, Probably my bass. Honestly, I'd get so bored. I'd like to have my instrument at least. My favorite part of recording is getting to really dissect my own music, trying to see really what's happening, why things work the way they do, maybe correct some things that aren't working as well as they should. Getting really into the guts of the music, I think, is my favorite part of it.
Having a record of a period of time in your life.
Yeah.
Do I have anything to groove? What?
To agree.
Oh, I agree. I think you can learn a lot about yourself through the music that you make and sharing it with people and, talking about your feelings. There's a lot to get out with sharing what's inside.
I've recorded like 6 albums of various projects and whatever. All of the people I've recorded with are some of the closest friends I've ever had and will ever have, I think. So if you're in a band and you haven't recorded anything yet, just do it. Whether or not it sounds good, you'll get to know each other, you'll get really close, and you'll create friendships and relationships that you'll value forever.
Dare to suck.
Dare to suck. We'll let you know.
Yeah. Do a little bit every day.
Yeah. What's that thing from BoJack Horseman where it's like
It gets easier.
it gets easier, but you got to do it every day, kind of thing. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Good. Thanks,
Thanks.
Jeffrey.
Talk to you later.
Bye.